Hollywood. Our guest today is proof positive good things do come in small packages. Short in stature, she's long on talent. As a homemaker, her favorite margarine is probably Blue Bonet. As an entertainer, she's the Pia with pizzazz. Who other than Pia Zadora? And now, lending his own style to the proceedings, here's your host and man of the half hour, Skippy Lowe.
Well, Pia Zadora, tell me. New mistress of the Pickford house. The mistress, the new one.
I'm glad you said of the Pickford house.
I was waiting for that. Tell me about that. How does it feel to be living at the Pickford house? How does it feel?
Skip, to me, a house is a place where you can be with your kids, relax, do your thing. It doesn't matter to me whether it's the Pickford house or, you know, for me, it's just the house is wonderful, and I know it has a great history, and I'm very happy to be a part of that history. But it doesn't make me feel any differently. As far as I'm concerned, it's the Pia house, the Pia and Rick and kids' house now. I love it because it's spacious, it's in a great location, and
but it's old Hollywood now. Come on, Pia. It's real Hollywood.
It doesn't hit me that way. That's not why. Actually, to tell you the truth, Skip, the funny thing is, I told my husband we needed a bigger house because we have 2 kids now.
Right.
And we have my father passed away, so she's with us a great deal of the time. I said, I want a bigger house. I wanted to buy a house across the street from us in Truesdale. And it was twice as expensive as Pickfair.
Right.
And he said, no, it's too expensive. We're not going to buy this house. So he came to me the week after and said, guess what? Pickfair's on sale. And I said, how big is it? He said, well, it's about the same size as the other house. I said, good. Take it. I couldn't have cared less what it was, as long as it was a big house where we could have room for the kids to play.
Right.
And you know, I'm not a Hollywood girl.
Is it haunted? Is it haunted? That's all I want to know. Is
haunted.
Is there any hauntedness? You know, feeling about whole Hollywood there or nothing, or just a house for you? That's it, huh?
I don't know if it's haunted because we haven't slept there yet.
You haven't?
No, it's going to be 2 years before.
Oh, it's going to take.
Before we move in. Yeah.
Oh, really? It's going to take that long?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
You're living in Truesdale. That shiny door. Tell me about that shiny door outside.
Oh, I think it's awful. I think it's real Vegas-y.
Yeah, who started it?
That's the only thing in the house that we left that was there before.
I see.
You know, my taste is different than other people's taste. To me, it doesn't matter the door, the exterior, it's what's inside. And the inside is basically tailor-made. There's a playground in the backyard and a tennis court that we use as a path for my kids to play with their toys. And
kids.
Kids.
Every time I say you use that word kids, you look happy. And you're happy with your children, aren't you?
Well,
Pia's got 2 now.
I have nothing to complain about. They're both wonderful kids. My daughter's 3, and she's 3 going on 49. And of course, she got her first review in Variety last week. She went on stage with me in Las Vegas, and she got a fantastic review. And my son is 15 months now, and he's just mommy's little boy, and he's very healthy and very aggressive, and of course he gets kicked around a great deal by his big sister, and he answers no, and he gives her a big smack, so he's going to be a very self-sufficient kid.
Right.
Me.
I see you at Nikki Blair's with your lovely little girl. Late at night, 11 o'clock. Pia, come on, 11 o'clock, your lovely daughter up. Show business.
Are you with the authorities?
No. Why? Nikki Blair takes her into the kitchen, and she's having a ball there, isn't she?
Yeah. You know, the most important thing with kids is to be able to spend time with them. And Katie takes a nap at about 6 or 7 o'clock, and then she goes out to dinner with us every night. She has a wonderful time. I mean, Nikki Blair brings her presents every night. She loves her pasta. She loves her Coca-Cola. You know, I mean, she's just very much of a lady. She knows exactly which restaurant she wants to go to every night. She wants to go either to Mateo's because of the train, to Chasen's for the cheese toast. I mean, she tells us where to go. And it's wonderful because, you know, I never cook. I'm one of those people who's never boiled an egg.
An Italian girl. You are Italian,
you know,
half Italian
I was
anyway.
brought up on the stage, and my mother was Polish, and she never taught me to cook, which I guess was a good thing, because I would be cooking pierogies, and I'd probably be fat as a house. But, you know, so we don't cook, so when we go out to dinner at night, it's our time to relax and unwind. When Katie's with us, it's wonderful. She gets to pick her dress, she sits with Daddy, she sits with Mommy, and she just has a great time, and that's part of our family time. Instead of sitting in the kitchen and my cooking, we sit in a restaurant.
New York. Grew up there? Where?
Born and raised and driven crazy. I have mixed feelings about New York, Skip.
Oh, I love New York.
I was a Broadway brat. I grew up in the
What was your first show? What was your first show,
It was a
Pia?
show called Midgie Purvis with Tallulah Bankhead.
Oh, come on, Pia. Sitting there.
I
Pia.
was 6 years old, and Tallulah Bankhead taught me how to smoke cigarettes, wear my mother's high heels, and curse.
I love.
She corrupted me at 6 years old. And Burgess Meredith, of course, directed the show. He was the one who discovered me.
He did discover you.
Yeah.
Ah, what a great discovery. Oh.
Yeah, well, you know, I was a very shy little girl. They considered me socially retarded. My mother says in Georgia Holt's book about star mothers that I had a crippling shyness, and which I'm still very shy today, and I kind of laugh about it, but I think most performers are shy to an extent, but I've learned to express myself.
Then what happened after, when you grew up?
Then when I grew up...
You did some off-Broadway, you did Broadway, you did a lot of that.
I worked from about 6 to 17, and I was in Fiddler on the Roof and The Sound of Music, Henry Sweet Henry. I placed Bernadette Peters in Dames at Sea. I did it for my film Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
You followed Bernadette in off the sea.
Dames at Sea.
How was it good?
It was wonderful. It was the story of Ruby Keeler.
Right.
I was, what, 15 at the time.
But you know, I saw your lovely picture. I loved The Lonely. I thought that was a great movie with Orson Welles.
Oh, Butterfly.
Butterfly. That's it.
Butterfly.
Butterfly. Why am I getting that confused? I don't know why.
Was a James M. Cain picture with Stacy Keach and Orson Welles.
You know something?
If you told me you liked Lonely Lady, I would definitely have you checked.
I did like Lonely Lady.
Oh my God!
I did.
What did you like about it?
I don't know. I just liked you. I thought you were wonderful, and I'm very serious.
I
thought you.
My best.
No, I did like it. I liked it very much.
I can't watch
Why
it.
can't you?
I cringe.
Because of Hollywood?
I cringe. No, I thought that it was really.
Well, why did you do it then?
I did it because I was young and stupid and crazy, and I wanted to work, and nobody offered me Kramer versus Kramer. And I thought that it was a role that wouldn't classify me as a sex symbol. Harold Robbins naturally is not Walt Disney, so it's not, you know, it's got to have a certain amount of sexuality, but the role I was playing was not a sexy role. I was playing a writer, a very simple girl that got kicked around in Hollywood and won an Oscar for her writing.
I liked it.
Thank you.
I really did like it.
I can never, my mother told me, never look a gift horse in the mouth. Thank you for the compliment.
I'm very serious. I really liked that. And I told Grace Robbins that, too. Just a few weeks ago, I said I was going to interview you, and I said that was one of my favorite things you have done. But Butterfield, getting back with Orson Welles, working with that great man. Tell me about it.
Well, Orson, of course, was a ladies' man, a charmer, very talented, very creative, got involved directorially. You know, he was a brilliant director.
He certainly was.
He got involved directorially in the picture, in his scenes and otherwise. And he just was a sweetheart with a great, wonderful sense of humor. And he played the judge, so he sat up on his big judge's podium, and he was very heavy at the time, and really, like during lunch break or dinner break, didn't want to get off, so I would bring him his lunch and his dinner, and we'd sit and talk about life. And he called me my beauty. He was very much a ladies' man.
Do you read a lot of scripts? Do a lot of scripts come to Pia, offered to you?
I've read a few, but, you know, I'm being...
Does your husband pick them, or do you?
No, my husband, I would let him pick the vegetables.
He doesn't?
He's wonderful at his business, but when it comes to my career...
Does he spend a lot of time in Vegas, doesn't he? A lot of time there?
He's there today. How did you know?
I don't know. I just...
No, he doesn't. I mean, we own a hotel there, so
right.
He has to go there once in a while to make sure that there are no earthquakes or atomic bomb.
How many homes does Pia have? How many do you have? You have a lot around.
You know, Skip, we are bi-coastal.
Okay, bi-coastal is Vegas, New York?
No, not
just
Vegas.
Vegas.
Not Vegas. No,
you don't stay in Vegas?
I've been to Vegas 3 times in 10 years.
Really?
Only to perform there. Vegas is not. Vegas is a town to play and have a wonderful time. It's not a town to exist.
I see. You worked with Frank Sinatra.
I did, yeah.
Don Rickles, my favorite. Tell me about Don Rickles. I love Don Rickles. I think he's great.
Don Rickles, you know, it's another case of the fact that, you know, his humor is intended to intimidate. I mean, when you sit in the first row and at a Don Rickles show, you're looking for trouble.
I worked with him
So
years ago when he was
you know.
Glasshead Rickles on the Wayne Room in Washington. And I emceed his show before he was ever big, and he was great. He did a dramatic thing at the end of his act. Glasshead Rickles, a very dramatic thing. I don't think he ever used that again, but he should. A lot of people loved it. You had fun working with him, didn't you?
I had fun. I worked with him a long time ago. I was his opening act. And he was a very sweet, very creative, fun guy to work with. Very nice wife. And
Pia,
you're a nice guy yourself.
Pia, you've
like
changed. You know, you've done a lot of changes now in your life. You know, you've had some hard knocks, you know, because you're married to such a successful man. And people say, you know, I hate that. I hate people say, Pia, you know, because your husband is...
Why do you hate it? What does it all mean in the long run?
Because, you know why?
What does it mean? Certain people are jealous.
Jealous? No, it's not jealous. It's not jealous.
I mean, everybody's got their own axe to grind. I do what I do, and I love what I do. And if you don't like it, if he doesn't like it, I mean, you can't please all the people all of the time. Basically, the thing that I'm really happy about is that I found my niche in the singing. And that I'm a credible singer, and now nobody can laugh at me anymore. And that's all. And I have my kids, and I have my life, and I'm not a conformist.
Who put your act together, Pia?
My manager, Tino Barsi. Yeah, he's produced several of, he used to be Frank Sinatra's manager. He's produced several of Frank's albums, and both of mine.
And I think they're great. There is
and he's godfather to both of my kids.
There is a clip that he sent me, and about your little, that little girl of yours is just adorable. You are singing this wonderful song. I'd like to see it right now. Can I show it?
I will give you
Love to see this clip. I think it's adorable.
In my life, I have someone who needs me, someone I've needed so long. For once unafraid, I can go where life leads me, and somehow I know I'll be strong. For once I can touch what my heart used to dream of long before I knew. Someone warm like you could make my dream come true. For once in my life, I won't let sorrow hurt me, not like it's hurt me before. For once I have something I know won't desert me, 'cause I'm not alone anymore. For once I can say, this is mine, you can't take it. Long as I know I have love, I can make it. For once in my life, I have someone who needs me. For once in my life, I won't let sorrow hurt me, not like it's hurt me before. For once I have something I know won't desert me, I'm not alone anymore. For once I can say, this is mine, you can't take it. Long as I know I have love, I can make it. For once in my life, I have someone who needs me.
Oh, Pia, God, that's great.
Katie was a year old.
A year?
Yeah.
Oh, she's adorable.
It's the only problem with kids is they grow up.
How do you feel singing to your child? I mean,
that was a great moment. That was actually the rehearsal, and it's a good thing they shot the rehearsal because she wouldn't go near the set after that. No. But she was just so perfect at the rehearsal.
Oh, she's adorable. You have, this is Pia with the Philharmonic?
London Philharmonic Orchestra.
Your Philharmonic Orchestra. Wonderful. Those great
93
songs.
Pieces.
93 pieces?
I was pregnant when I recorded that.
You did?
Yeah,
oh,
I was pregnant with both albums.
Look at these songs, Pia. I just adore these songs. Maybe this time, Embraceable You.
It's a romantic, you know.
The
standards are romantic.
You know, I saw you at the Beverly Theater several months ago, back. The reviews in Los Angeles were great. Raving reviews. Tell me about that. How did you feel about that? You know, because before, you know, Pia is Zadora, right? But
yeah,
this time...
2 years ago when I went to the Beverly Theater, it was the first time. Right. And that was basically when my life was on the line, when nobody had any awareness of what I was doing, that I was even singing the standards. And this was a turn for me, and basically it was a last-ditch effort because I was, you know, in a rut, and there was no way I was going to get credibility. And singing is something that I always did and loved to do and did well at. So this was... You know, if you don't like it, you can lump it like I am what I am.
It's a great. And your gowns?
And it worked.
Mackey?
Rick Turner and Bob Mackey.
Bob Mackey.
It's a combination of both.
Love the staging. Who staged that act at the Beverly? I thought it was great. I really loved it.
Basically, it's a very simple Tino Barzi, again, another plug for Tino Barzi. It basically simple in concert, you know, format.
It was simple.
45 pieces, and my standing there and singing for an hour.
It was good. I enjoyed it very, very much.
Thank you.
You surprised a lot of people, and surprised me too, really.
I surprised myself.
What's the day like for Pia?
What is the day?
What is the day? Okay. What time does Pia get up?
Well, lately I've been getting up at 9:30, between 9:30 and 9:45. And what I do is I go to exercise at 10 o'clock. If I'm in LA, I'll go to exercise and come back and take the kids and take them to their gym and take them to whatever, if they have to go to the doctor, whatever errands I have to do with the kids. And then I'll have a rehearsal in the afternoon for 2 or 3 hours. Like now I'm preparing for an ABC TV special.
You are?
Yeah, it's called the Star-Spangled Celebration. It's the highest rated special of the year. It airs on the July 4th weekend. I'm doing this 7-minute piece of special material and a new song, which is the anthem for literacy for ABC for this summer. So it's a lot of words and a lot of rehearsing. So I'll rehearse and then put the kids to bed and then maybe go over some of my stuff and spend a little time with my husband, then wake them up and take them to dinner.
Do you study acting?
I studied at the American Academy.
American Academy in New York.
Yeah.
Right. So actually, once you have studied, why study again?
No, I think if you feel the need to study, you should study. Right now, I'm not doing any acting work. I'm doing basically my singing and concert stuff. And I feel that if I do ever take on a project, I'll probably want to refresh myself or work with somebody on that particular script that I'm doing. I think it's always important to have, you know, because a performer, it can't be objective. An actor and actress can't be objective. You need a director or a coach, and it's important if you feel that you need to get a grasp or to use some techniques to get into a special area of dramatics or something, you know.
What do you see yourself 5 years from now?
God.
Down the road.
At a plastic surgeon.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding? Come on, Pia.
5 years is a long time at my age.
Is it?
No, and you know, with the kids and stuff, you become...
More kids? More kids?
Yeah, I want about 6 more.
Do you really? Oh, God. You like kids?
My husband wants more kids. I said, honey, if you can have them, you have them. But I'm not having any more.
Do you see your husband a lot? Do you see him all the time?
Yeah.
Do you see?
He's around a lot.
He is around.
Yeah, he can't stay away from the kids. He doesn't care about me as much as the kids now. I mean, kids are all consuming.
I see. But you seem to enjoy life, Pia.
Why not? What are we here for, to suffer?
You keep yourself busy.
Well, that's important also, to be healthy, to be busy. I mean, I've gone through periods of depression. I'm not totally, you know, perfect all the time, totally happy and totally positive. I think it's important to experience all the elements.
Do you have a lot of friends? A lot of friends here?
A few very close.
Very selective?
Yeah. I don't have...
You don't go to parties a lot?
No, I don't like parties.
You don't?
No. Parties make me nervous. I don't see the point in just saying hi and rubbing noses with people. You know, it's not my thing. It doesn't make me happy. I'd rather be with my kids or go to dinner with my husband or go with a close girlfriend. You know, that's where I get my satisfaction.
You go to movies?
Fulfillment.
You like to go to movies?
I like to see movies. Sometimes, you know, they come out on video, so it's so easy to see them at home instead of going out. We have a screening room in our house.
I see. So you keep yourself busy then, you know, right?
Well, with 2 kids, it's very easy to keep yourself busy.
How about a television show, Pia? A nice singing variety show. Pia, I could really see that. You know, we don't have a good variety show right now, if you think about it. How about Pia? A nice variety show.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Would you like that?
I'll take it.
Would you like that?
I don't know what I would love to.
Someone said that you're going to be doing the Betty Grable's life story.
It's possible. It's possible.
It is?
Yeah.
It's true. That could be interesting. That could be interesting, Pia. That could be very, very interesting. Pia,
there are many directions that my career could possibly go right now. And I'm just waiting, and I'm not in a rush. And just waiting. In this summer, I'm on tour all summer.
Where are you touring this
I'm
summer?
in Tahoe for a week. And I'm in Atlantic City at
with Norm Crosby.
Valley with Norm Crosby.
Norm?
And then I'm all over the country, Kansas City, Des Moines, Iowa, all those places with my one-woman show, which I enjoy and love. And in the midst of doing some recording and have an album that's been completed, which is going to be out in September. So, you know, there are a lot of irons in the fire right now, and I'm hoping that the right thing will just take over.
You're very young. I'm not going to say, do you have any regrets, because you're awfully young. Because you don't have regrets.
If I had regrets,
you know,
would they help me?
It's true.
What good would they do? You just have to learn from the past and not do the same thing twice if you don't like what you did.
True.
Don't make it, what do they say? Once it's your fault, once it's the other guy's fault, and twice it's your own fault.
Pia.
Yes.
You're spiritual. It seems like you're very spiritual, are you?
I think so. Yeah. I'm an old
Go to
spirit. I've been
church?
told I'm an old spirit.
You go to church and all that?
Yeah. Well, I was raised in
As a nun.
I was raised by the nuns.
No, you weren't raised. You were in a convent with nuns.
Well, I was going to become a nun.
You were?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Until I got onto Broadway. Well, you know, the nuns were wonderful role models, and I was a very shy, introverted little girl, and I loved them, I adored them. I was very religious. My mother was very religious, and I felt that this was a nice way to spend your life. Maybe for me it was an escape because I wouldn't have to deal. I wasn't great. I was an only child. I was never peer-oriented or competitively oriented, and I felt that being a nun would be a nice, it just looked good to me. And then I wanted to be a veterinarian because I loved animals, but I couldn't stand the sight of blood, so I went into showbiz. What else?
Animals. How many do you have? You have a lot?
We have Akitas. We have 3 Akitas. One ran away. And we have, I have horses. I love horses.
You like horses?
I've always ridden since I was 3. So we have horses in New York, in Long Island.
Malibu. Tell me about Malibu. House still there?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
We're building another house there.
You're building another?
Yeah.
God, you keep building houses all over the place.
Well, you know, we keep having kids, and we need room for them.
6 kids, huh?
No, we have a house here, a house in New York, and a house in Malibu.
I see. And your mother's living with you now?
Most of the time. She's going to Rome this weekend for the canonization of a saint. She's very religious.
Is she? Yeah. She's Polish. Yeah.
Yes, Polish.
Is she from Poland originally?
She was born here. My grandmother was born in Poland.
Tell me about your childhood in New York, though. I just like to get back that. Where in New York? You from city or? I
was born in Hoboken. New Jersey.
Yeah.
I lived there for about a year. Fortunately, I didn't know where I was because I was very young.
Sinatra, Hoboken.
And then we moved, right, that's where. And then we moved to Brooklyn. Lived in Brooklyn for 2-3 years. Then we moved to Forest Hills. And well, I started school in Forest Hills. And that's where I began my career. And then when I was about 14, 15, we moved into New York.
How did you meet your husband?
I was doing a show called Applause with Alexis Smith. And we were on tour. We were in Columbus, Ohio. And my husband is a graduate of Ohio State, and he was lecturing, giving a lecture on business acquisition at Ohio State. And nothing to do that night, so he came to see the show, saw me on stage, fell in love with me, and chased me until I finally caught him. 4 years later, we were married.
You got married. Oh,
interesting.
And Applause, Alexis Smith, what a great actress she is.
She was at a show that I did about 2 months ago. She was in the audience, and I was nervous because I performed with her, always looked up to her, and she's a very classy lady. Classy.
She is, yes. You're a pretty girl, you know that? You got a smart-headed, you know, Pia, a lot of people don't realize, Pia, something about you that you're going to be a big star someday. Your time is not, maybe Betty Grable. One of these things are going to come up, and they're going to show it. that Pia's, because you're preparing yourself right now, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
You've been working at it? Do you work?
Sure, sure.
You study and you work out all the time at home? Do you have a gym at the house? You keep yourself in shape?
Yeah, I exercise for an hour and a half every day. I go to Pilates, I go to Lonnie Burke, we have our own gym, I have every exercise video on the market. I'm an exercise.
Is there certain foods you eat, Pia, that you like?
Yeah, vegetarian.
You don't eat meat at all?
No. I've eaten chicken twice in the past year. I can't even stand the taste of it anymore.
You're vegetarian.
Fish, no cheese, no salt, no butter. I love butter, though. Once in a while I have butter.
Well, I must say that, you know, I really can't believe Pia Zadora doesn't eat meat at all, or butter, or any of that stuff.
Why?
I don't know. It's just that you know you're some vitality. I mean, you have to have a lot of meat and energy.
Oh, I always feel more energetic when I do drink a lot of coffee.
Do you do running?
No, because it's bad for you. It's going to make you fall and make your, you know what, sag and all that stuff. I do my aerobics on a life cycle, which is like going uphill, and I do a lot of swimming.
About a movie coming up. Anything coming up? Tell me. I know you have the special coming up.
I have a special coming up. I have an album coming out.
What's a new album? What's some of the songs?
It's
some of the songs.
I can't say it.
You can't?
It's too soon.
Oh, it is?
Because there are two albums, and we're not sure which one is going to come out first. But it'll be out in September.
How about the Orient? You like the Orient?
I have enough trouble traveling back and forth to New York.
You don't go to the Orient?
Yes, actually, I was in Tokyo, and I won the gold medal.
That's right.
At the Tokyo Festival.
That's why I want you to bring it. You did win it.
Yeah.
And they love Pia there. How about Australia, Pia?
Australia, I was there for Butterfly, which did very well there, and South Africa. And my records are very big in Europe and France and Germany and Holland, Belgium.
I see.
More in the pop-ish vein.
I see. So looking back over Pia's 20 years of life.
20 years,
well,
jeez. I mean,
you look very young, Pia.
I've been in the business for 25 years.
A lot of people doesn't...
27 years.
They don't think that, though, see? They don't think.
27 years.
How long have you been married now?
I'm 11 years.
11 years. 11 years. So the applause, that was 11 years ago.
No, that was, we knew each other 4 years before we were married. So we've been together 15 years.
You dance?
Sure, I did Dames at Sea. I was with Michael Bennett as a child.
Michael Bennett?
He choreographed me in Henry Sweet Henry. I had a big dance number. I did the part of Vivian De La Hoya.
You do dance in your
Donna
act?
McKechnie.
I thought you're one lady.
No.
You don't do any?
No, because it's standards.
Just standard songs?
Yeah.
So you just come. How many men in the band orchestra?
Usually 40.
40. That's a lot of men up there. That's a lot. Do you work big arenas, theaters and stuff like that?
Yeah, like the Universal Land.
How about the Supper Club?
Outside theaters. No, only in Vegas.
Only in Vegas?
Vegas and Atlantic City.
I see. Frank Sinatra, tell me, has he encouraged Pia? Come on.
Frank Sinatra, you don't have to.
Come on, Pia.
I'll tell you anyway.
I know, because he is the greatest.
Frank Sinatra, my mother sang with him 45 years ago in a little club in New Jersey.
She did?
Yeah. I started with him when I did a special with Frank Sinatra Jr.
Right.
And that's when I came to Frank's attention and became his opening act.
Right.
This was like